Apple didn't invent the foldable phone, but the iPhone Fold, coming in fall 2026, might finally make folding feel completely normal and make us all wonder, were the foldables we've been using for years just practice runs? This isn't about bashing Samsung. It's about why Apple waited so long and why that wait could change everything. Foldables didn't start yesterday. Back in 2013, Samsung showed the world a bold idea, a phone that opens into a wide, tablet-like screen. At the time, it felt like science fiction, and Samsung didn't stop there. They tried everything: flip, fold, even trifold, pushing the tech as far as it could go. They put foldables out in the real world. Let people use them, break them, complain about them, and slowly improve them. Apple stayed quiet. They watched every launch, every hinge issue, every crease debate, every "this is cool" but moment. They didn't jump in early. They waited until the technology could disappear, so folding doesn't feel like a gimmick. And that raises the big uncomfortable question. If foldables were already good enough, why did Apple still refuse to ship one? According to the latest leaks, the iPhone Fold launches fall 2026, possibly alongside the iPhone 18 Pro series. When closed, a smaller outer display, around 5.3 to 5.5 inches, feels like a super compact iPhone mini in your pocket, easy to hold one-handed. When open, a large inner display, around 7.6 to 7.8 inches, with a 4:3 aspect ratio. That 4:3 shape is key, because that's not a phone ratio. That's an iPad mini ratio. Squarish, comfortable, perfect for videos, no black bars, reading, apps, and actual work. No tall, skinny weirdness. Compare that to most foldables today. Samsung's regular Fold is tall and narrow. Great for multitasking, two apps side by side. But videos? Black bars, awkward hand positioning. You're constantly adjusting. Apple flips that idea. You open the iPhone Fold, and it feels natural, like you're holding two familiar Apple devices merged into one. No app stretching, no awkward scrolling, just smooth. And here's where things get really interesting. Samsung is already reacting. They're reportedly planning a new wide fold with the same 4:3 inner screen ratio and preparing around 1 million units before Apple even starts selling. Not copying exactly, but clearly reacting to the same conclusion. Wider just feels better for real life. Now the spicy part, the part that really gets people arguing. Apple waited over 10 years. Foldables got thinner, stronger, more durable, more affordable. But Apple kept saying, not yet. Why? Were they just being extremely careful? Chasing the perfect hinge, the invisible crease, the flawless display? Or were they waiting for others to try tall designs, narrow screens, experimental ideas, and prove what doesn't feel right for most people? When Apple finally takes the stage, likely September 2026, they won't compare to Samsung. They won't talk generations. They'll just say, this is iPhone now. And suddenly, folding doesn't feel futuristic. It feels inevitable, normal, essential. Analysts believe Apple could sell 8 to 10 million iPhone Folds in the first year, or grab over 20% of the foldable market. Not because it folds, but because it's an iPhone that gives you more screen when you want it, without forcing you to change how you use your phone every day. It fits perfectly into the ecosystem. iPhone when closed, mini iPad when open. No replacing your iPad. No hurting the Pro Max. Just better. So here's the real question for the comments. If the iPhone Fold feels effortless and right in 2026, does that mean Samsung was way ahead of its time, testing ideas for the entire industry? But does it mean Samsung was running public beta tests, so Apple could get it right on the first try? Samsung fans, were your folds the real pioneers? Apple fans, was waiting worth it? And what would you actually use a foldable iPhone for? Videos, work, multitasking, or just because it's Apple? Drop your hot takes below. Let's see the debate explode.